May or may not be superficial. I don't really give a...
So maybe we'll do a bean eating contest, all right? Maybe we'll get all the girls, we'll shove their faces down in the beans and have them clean it up, you know?
Right.
Suck her down, good times, all right?
They seem to like.
And when I came back, I noticed that something was off.
I'm going bankrupt tonight, you know that, right? You think I come here happy all the time?
That's my fault. I give you the 5 days, 6 days work. What
Not my hours.
In a daring move to tackle the challenges plaguing the Hooters brand, renowned for its finger-licking wings and ice-cold brews, their president and CEO, Kobe Brooks, embarked on a thrilling undercover mission. Determined to unravel the inner workings of the billion-dollar business, Brooks, who had taken the baton from his visionary father, Robert Brooks, the mastermind who catapulted a local Florida concept into a global sensation, boldly stepped into the shoes of the everyday employee. Little did Kobe Brooks envision a career at Hooters, but fate dealt him a heartbreaking blow when his brother tragically perished in a plane crash aboard one of the corporate jets. Without even discussing with him, this is what his father did.
When I was 34, we went into the boardroom and he came in and he said, I just let the current president go. Kobe's your new president, CEO, he's going to take over. He had never discussed it with me.
Brooks candidly revealed that the Hooters brand was grappling with serious challenges. While striving to reposition itself as a family-oriented establishment, public sentiment regarding the exploitation of scantily clad women remained a contentious issue. By the way, what comes to your mind when you hear the word Hooters? Here's what Kobe thinks.
The Hooters name, it is not only our biggest strength, it is also our biggest weakness. Because some people, they don't like what they think it stands for, and they won't even try our business because of our name.
Yet that wasn't the sole obstacle in their path. As the cameras rolled, the company found itself navigating turbulent economic waters, with Hooters restaurants experiencing a decline in sales across the board. Kobe Brooks shed his familiar facial hair and bid farewell to the luxurious private jets. He donned the guise of Scott Archer, an ordinary employee, ready to delve into entry-level positions across the entire company, where he met this guy. His name is Jimbo, and I won't be surprised if he's on a sexual offender list by now. Why do I say this? Watch.
Okay, who's your man in Amsterdam today? All right, let's go! Form this line, form a perfect line. Make it straight. Bethany, front and center.
What's he doing? Initiating a rather demeaning lineup ritual. He would call upon all the girls, asking them to stand frozen in place while he meticulously inspected their hair, makeup, and outfits. And oh god, the way he blatantly objectified the girls? Horrifying!
She looks like a Hollywood starlet.
Yes.
Right? Okay, that's what we're looking for. All right, Bethany, have a seat.
Okay.
The atmosphere grew tense as the uncomfortable scrutiny filled the air. Brooks, with every fiber of his being, was utterly appalled by Jimbo's behavior. You can clearly see the discomfort. However, little did he know that this was just the beginning. Yep, while this shocking lineup exercise left everyone reeling, it paled in comparison to what awaited him next. Brace yourself, for what comes next will also leave you astounded.
You're gonna play my reindeer games. Yes.
This is his idea of fun and games.
So maybe we'll do a bean eating contest, all right? Maybe we'll get all the girls, we'll shove their faces down in the beans and have them clean it up, you know?
Right.
Suck her down, good times, all right?
They seem to like.
Hey, no rules.
No rules.
Okay? Go! Oh, get some of that. Oh, look. Ooh, doggy.
And if this wasn't enough, he says,
Girls are spoiled, man, so they're all prima donnas.
prima donnas? Really? What's up with the stereotyping, Jimbo? Finally, the time came for Kobe to face Jimbo head on, and he's about to unleash a verbal onslaught that will leave no room for ambiguity. With a steely gaze and unwavering determination, Kobe shoots it straight, cutting through the air like a knife.
Jimbo, the way that you interact with the girls, quite frankly, is inappropriate.
He chastises Jimbo's disrespectful behavior, refusing to let it slide any longer. In this face-off of epic proportions, Kobe holds nothing back, demanding a sincere apology from Jimbo to his entire staff. Jimbo is not one to back down easily. He deflects, justifying his unorthodox management methods with a bold claim.
You do that for me when you go back?
If I'm too competitive and if I'm too harsh.
He even goes on to claim that his style of leadership has an unparalleled impact on sales. With a smug smirk, he brandishes his proven track record as a shield, daring anyone to challenge his effectiveness. This man is utterly devoid of conscience. But Kobe knows there's one final compelling argument that could break through Jimbo's stubborn facade.
But to be honest with you, I would have a tough time letting my girls work under your management.
His words hang in the air, heavy with meaning and consequence. The impact of Kobe's words hit him like a thunderbolt. Suddenly, his defenses crumble, and the weight of his actions become all too clear. It's as if a mirror has been held up to his soul, reflecting the repercussions of his disrespectful behavior. But Kobe was too gentle. Why wasn't he made to undergo diversity training on how to work with women respectfully? If you ask me, Jimbo should have been fired from his job. There and then. He was disgusting, and this kind of misogyny is exactly what gave Hooters a bad rep. The next one is wild. Picture this. The phone rings. It's a call that could change everything. For Rick McKicklis, CEO of Wild Wing, that call came on the absolute worst day in the company's history. Just when he thought things couldn't get any worse, he discovered that one of his trusted longtime employees had been stealing from the company. And if that wasn't enough, Revenue Canada was swooping in, ready to perform a meticulous audit at the head office. Talk about a double whammy! In the midst of this chaos, guess what? The producers of Undercover Boss Canada reached out to Rick. He became Anglo, a rough-and-tumble guy straight out of Chicago, inspired by one of his real-life friends. Rick went all out to disguise himself, sporting a hilariously bad wig, schlumpy jeans, and even transforming his pearly whites into a mangled yellow smile. Talk about dedication! With his undercover persona intact, Rick embarked on a thrilling adventure that would take him to Wild Wing locations in Ottawa and Oshawa. From the moment he stepped into the shoes of an ordinary employee, Rick was ready to get his hands dirty. No task was too small or too menial for him. He wiped down tables, mixed drinks, and did whatever it took to truly experience what it's like working on the front lines of his own company. Let's see what led him to lose his temper, blow his cover, and scream at a manager. He was paired with a server named Sabrina, who was about to expose a shocking secret about a branch of Wild Wing. Sabrina revealed to Rick that the store owner was bending the rules by creating unauthorized specials and selling beers that were no part of the approved franchise menu.
We tend to sell more tall boys, which is more of a profit from the draft.
Tall boys are not authorized by us. There's lots of concerns here. None of this is on her.
Talk about breaking the corporate mold. Rick was taken aback by this revelation. As he later shared in his testimonial, the situation was more than just a matter of confusion. It was a blatant violation of corporate agreements, especially when it came to the selection of draft beers. As he pushed through his undercover shift, determined to uncover the truth, he stumbled upon a heartbreaking story that shook him to the core.
And when I came back, I noticed that something was off.
I'm going bankrupt tonight, you know that, right? You think I come here happy all the
that's
time?
my fault. I give you the 5 days, 6 days work. Whatever
Not
the
my
time you want.
hours!
Like you can hear, Sabrina had recently faced bankruptcy. Her car had broken down. And to top it all off, her hours at work were incredibly unstable. But the challenges didn't end there. She was being tugged around and mistreated by her store manager, adding insult to injury. It was a solution that no employee should ever have to endure. In one pivotal moment, Sabrina couldn't hold back her emotions any longer. Overwhelmed by the mistreatment and frustration, she burst into tears, seeking solace from the harsh reality she faced within the manager's office. Witnessing her distress, Rick's empathy kicked into overdrive.
If you trust me,
He's in the office.
well, please bring him out. Tell him if he's got any balls, he'll come out.
Without hesitation, Rick made a courageous decision. He put himself on the line and confronted the store owner/manager head on. The confrontation was intense, emotions running high as Rick fearlessly advocated for Sabrina and demanded accountability for the mistreatment she had endured.
You can on me, you can on me, you can do whatever the hell you want to me. You can't treat people like this when they're crying at work. No, come on!
The tension in the room skyrocketed as Rick listed off all the corporate and human level offenses that had been committed under the manager's watch. He held nothing back, expressing his deep disappointment and frustration over the mistreatment of employees and the blatant disregard for corporate guidelines.
Tall boys, okay, we have a contract for draft beer. Everything you do is different.
And it's against the company.
Ultimately, he was fired, like he should be. Never stood a chance. Customer service is all about maintaining professionalism, even in the face of challenging situations. It's crucial to find constructive ways to address customer misbehavior and ensure a safe and pleasant environment for everyone. Don't you agree? And this is why I think that this next employee definitely didn't deserve a second chance.
There has been instances where you don't want to strain and slap the kid.
The CEO of Yankee Candles, Harlan Kent, decided to step into the shoes of an undercover employee named Dan Johnson. With his disguise in place, he made his way to the company's flagship store in Massachusetts, where he met Blaze.
Are you Blaze?
Yes.
I'm Dan.
Nice to meet you, Dan.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Hi, Dan.
Blaze was observant. Something about Dan seemed off. Perhaps it was his uncanny knowledge of the store, the intricate wax-making process, or his less than stellar choice of a wig and facial hair. Blaze's radar was on high alert. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Instead of keeping his suspicions to himself, Blaze openly shares a shocking confession with the new hire. He admits that there are times when he feels a strong urge to give a good slap to the misbehaving kids. Not just this, he says,
Completely honest with you, I have the worst temper. Can't stand in line in a supermarket without getting pissed off at the guy in front of me for talking on the cell phone. You hate your boss. You hate that woman you're working with, that really high, screechy, annoying voice. You gotta keep that Yankee Candle, big smile.
Wow, Blaze's anger and his inappropriate behavior are truly alarming. It's clear that his frustration with misbehaving customers has pushed him to the edge. While we can understand that dealing with unruly individuals can be frustrating, openly expressing a desire to physically harm them is completely unacceptable.
I just told the CEO that sometimes I feel like punching an 8-year-old. It's kind of like okay.
And despite this, he was given a second chance. We all have those days when work can be challenging and frustrations can get the best of us. However, it's important to remember that belittling customers is never an appropriate response, regardless of the circumstances. In Jacqueline's case, she really crossed all lines.
Be obnoxious. I don't work for you. I don't know what to do with some people. I just want to punch them in the face sometimes.
Oh, I did that.
The behavior exhibited by Jacqueline, the employee at Retro Fitness Gym in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, is not only disgraceful, but also highly disrespectful. It's appalling to witness someone in a customer service role openly belittling and demeaning the very people they're meant to serve and support.
Do you want to do smoothies?
Yeah, I think it's great.
They're really important. This is the menu, how we make it. It's super explanatory, like brain dead if you can't get it. So if you look at that and can't understand it, then you should probably turn around and not do this.
Jacqueline's comments, filled with a stream of vile and derogatory remarks, demonstrate a complete disregard for professionalism and basic human decency. Calling members stupid and expressing a desire to physically harm them is not just rude, but it goes against the principles of empathy and respect that should be at the core of any customer-facing role. Bob, the franchise owner, was invited onto the show to address the situation. When asked about why she was using such inappropriate language, she says,
"You did it in front of the CEO of the
But I didn't know it was him, obviously. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have acted that way.
That makes it worse. And you didn't know it was him. Obviously, you wouldn't do it if it was him.
I mean, if you knew he was the CEO, of course you would have put on a facade, Jacqueline. How dumb. In this crucial moment, Bob made the only reasonable choice under the circumstances.
You have to part ways. There's nothing else I could do.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
With disappointment and concern evident in his voice, Bob expressed the need to part ways with Jacqueline. He recognized that her conduct was simply not tolerable, particularly when it came to interacting with customers. It was a difficult decision for Bob, but an essential one to maintain the integrity of the gym and ensure a positive experience for all members.
I don't know what you want me to say. Sorry. I don't know what you want me to say in that situation.
In response to Bob's decision, Jacqueline attempted to downplay her actions by acknowledging that she may have used inappropriate language. However, her continued use of expletives during the conversation revealed a lack of remorse or willingness to take responsibility for her behavior.
And yeah, maybe I dropped. Sorry. God bit me, seriously. I can't even deal.
For sure, firing was a good decision. She didn't deserve a second chance there. In this episode, Toby Boss, the CEO of O'Neill's Clothing, found himself taken aback when he encountered an employee named Jesus during his undercover stint in one of the company's stores. Unfortunately, Jesus did not make the best impression, leaving Toby astonished and concerned. Jesus started off the wrong foot by making derogatory remarks about the clothing line.
Any retail store.
You're gonna pick up a girl on your first date, you wanna look like a man, you don't wanna look like a 5-year-old like your mom picked this out. That's like a 5th grader would wear instead of a grown-ass man.
But that wasn't the worst part. He crossed boundaries by openly discussing drug-related topics with his disguised boss, whom he knew as Frederick.
I'm just straight up lazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, smoke weed, I'll drink. You know, come in, smoke a bowl before work just to like calm down.
Shocking everyone, Jesus not only offered information about where to obtain marijuana, but also proposed the idea of opening a pot dispensary. His willingness to discuss drug-related matters and his admission of using drugs to cope with work painted a concerning picture of his professionalism and commitment. Bost, understandably worried about the potential repercussions, expressed his concerns in a snippet.
Really? I mean, talking about pot and dispensaries and marijuana, I mean, come on.
I mean, it would be a really good business.
I just don't know what to do with this kid right now.
He feared that Jesus' actions might extend beyond personal drug use and potentially involve offering drugs to other employees or even customers, jeopardizing the company's reputation and safety. Such behavior raises serious questions about Jesus' suitability for a customer-facing role and his ability to uphold the values and standards of O'Neill's Clothing. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining a drug-free and professional work environment, where employees prioritize customer satisfaction and safety above all else. However, he wasn't fired. Instead,
I want to fly you out to Irvine for an entire week. You're going to work with me. You're going to work with a lot of my executives because I think it will help you. Is that something you'd be willing to do? Do you think you can listen to what I'm saying?
What do you think? Did he really deserve a second chance? Amit Kleinberg, the CEO and co-owner of Menchie's frozen yogurt chain, has an extraordinary backstory that's worth sharing. Picture a young Amit serving as a commander in the Israeli Defense Forces, where he underwent a transformation that would shape his future in unexpected ways. He also recounted the harrowing experience.
When I was 20, a terrorist hijacked a bus and ran the group I was leading from behind us.
With a background brimming with grit and determination, one might assume that he wouldn't tolerate any nonsense from a less than stellar employee. And sure enough, he encountered such a challenge in the form of a young woman named Drew. As a shift lead supervisor at a Menchie store in Bonnie Lake, Washington, Drew failed to fulfill the nurturing role expected of her when it came to her trainee, Alan Stein, an aspiring entrepreneur from Johannesburg, South Africa, who supposedly appeared on a Second Chances reality show.
Cardboard?
Duh.
She's more expecting me to pick up clues and hints of what she's trying to communicate, okay?
This behavior left a bitter taste in Amit's mouth, as he witnessed firsthand the detrimental effects of Drew's bratty attitude on Alan's experience. Drew's shortcomings as a mentor went beyond neglecting to guide Alan through the necessary steps of cleaning up, as Amit astutely observed in front of the camera. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. The video footage showcases Drew's alarming sense of entitlement, completely out of line with the respect she should have earned.
Will you tie my shoe? Please, I have chocolate on my hand. Oh my God.
In a cringeworthy moment, Drew took her superiority complex to a whole new level. She audaciously addressed Alan by saying,
I'm just gonna start calling you Jeeves. Jeeves, get the slicer.
Although she may have attempted to pass it off as a joke, the tone revealed a deeper truth: her lack of genuine respect for Alan and a misplaced belief in her own superiority. Such behavior is not only disrespectful, but also undermines the principles of teamwork that should be fostered in a professional environment. It is clear that Drew's attitude falls short of the standards expected at Menchie's and is a disservice to both Alan and the overall workplace culture. Her statements during her time at Menchie's were nothing short of jaw-dropping. She bluntly expressed her disdain for working at the establishment, boldly declaring that it sucks.
All right, so a lot of what we do is fruit all day, every day.
Okay.
So I don't do mangoes, so there's slicey things over there.
Drew's focus seemed to be more on finding a wealthy husband than on her work. She shamelessly shared her plan to marry a plastic surgeon, as if that was her ticket out of having to put in any effort. According to her, her main concern was making enough money to afford.
I just work here because I like money and I have expensive taste and I need things like tanning.
Tanning?
Yep, I do both spray tanning and bed tanning. Tanorexic, that's what I call it.
Tanorexic?
Yep.
The irony is not lost on us. Drew's desire for a superficial image and the mission she referred to as melanoma or bust raised serious concerns about her priorities. Is she truly interested in personal growth and contributing to the success of Menchie's? Or is she solely driven by a desire for superficial appearances? While Drew may not be concerned about the superficiality of her attitude, the impact of her behavior on both the workplace environment and her own professional development cannot be ignored. It raises questions about her commitment, professionalism, and ability to be a team player.
may or may not be superficial. I don't really give a
Amit decided to take a more forgiving approach when it came to Drew. Against all odds, he extended a second chance to Drew, offering her an opportunity for more training and the chance to shadow some of the company's top shift leaders. It was a gesture of leniency that few would expect, considering her attitude. Yet Amit saw potential in her and believed that this wake-up call could spur her personal growth and transformation.
I feel really lucky about the whole thing. It's given me a bit of a wake-up call just in the sense that, yeah, I probably should be an adult. I'll get there.
Drew, perhaps feeling entitled, accepted the offer, as if it were something owed to her. Although she did acknowledge that the experience served as a wake-up call, you can see how entitled she acted. Do you think these employees deserved a second chance? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching, guys.